Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm in. As the holiday season approaches, may your days be filled with intrigue, mystery, and moments of reflection. Whether you are embarking on a captivating journey or enjoying the comforts of home, may the spirits of the season bring you joy and warmth. Warmth like my puppy brings my warmth. Speaking of captivating journeys, let me share a story that's sure to make your holiday moments a bit more thrilling. Consider it a gift to tend off the boredom during these festival times. So sit back and I'm gonna bring you a story that I hope will add a touch of excitement to your holiday leisure. Today's story is about an interracial relationship in China. While we Chinese people are actually quite racist, so navigating an interracial relationship in China is no walk in the park. So there she is, facing the reporters with their interviews and cameras, talking away. Clear logic, smooth expressions, and a light smile on her face. But she stuck out in praising gear. Then why she smiled? Well, because she finally heard that the black guy involved, her fiancé, managed to escape a sentence with her cover, and she could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Her name is Mao Ran, a straight-A student, a genius girl, just graduated and already a rising star in the professional world. Sky's the limit. But then, a black guy walks in, throws the flower of love, and she transforms into a top-tier, love-brained individual. And her skills go down the drain. She made a bad choice for love and ended up protecting a bad person. It led her to a dead end. On the 26th of July 2009, 5 innocent-looking book covers caused a stir at Xiamen Gaoqiao International Airport. Guess what? Inside these seemingly ordinary book covers, they found a whopping 2,385 grams of heroin. What's the big deal with these particular number of this 2,000-something grams? Well, in China, smuggling heroin with over 50 grams could get you the death penalty. Now, here's the kicker. The drug smuggler behind this was none other than an average-looking, petite, middle-aged woman. When a woman got busted before anyone threw in questions, she busted out crying. "What drugs? I have no idea. A friend asked me to bring these over." I mean, seriously? Handling such a massive amount of drugs, it's hard to imagine a woman could pull that off. But she admitted it before interrogation, so without any prompting, she spilled the beans. The anti-drug police are ready to roll. Based on her confession, they set up a skate-out at the same location. Soon enough, a fast-moving woman in black caught attention of the police. She carried a luggage that emitted a strong smell of cheap glue, even bothering the police dogs 2 miles away. Upon inspection, they found a biscuit box, 4 chocolate boxes, and 2 pairs of platform shoes with dried glue still oozing from the heels. The woman in black was trembling like a leaf in the wind, pretending to stay calm until the moment the test results came out. She then plopped down on the floor. 933 grams of heroin, or high-potency stuff. All high-potency stuff granted her a set of silver handcuffs. Her courage didn't match her little-sized pupil. She spilled everything at the police station. It was later revealed that they were part of a team and they were under the guidance of an instructor. Little did the police expect that such a major smuggling case would have such a smooth interrogation process. Whoever could manipulate others to carry a large amount of drugs across borders must have some serious connections, right? The police followed the leads and started making arrests. However, what surprised them even more was that the masterminds behind these two women, the main culprits of these vicious smuggling case, turned out to be an innocent-looking, highly intelligent female white-collar worker. When facing police interrogation, the woman's eyes revealed a kind of ignorant calmness. Why on earth would she give up a bright future for smuggling crimes? Is she another confused soul blinded by greed? Let's talk about female juggalos in TV shows. They usually have a commanding presence, flaunting fiery red lips while puffing on a cigar. But this one? She's just an ordinary girl lost in a crowd. Her name is Mao Ran, a fresh workplace elite, a royal academic whiz from the get-go. At the young age of 16, Mao Ran got into a famous university's foundation class, majoring in English. Throughout her college years, she collected every qualification certificate available for an English major. A genius prep school graduate, fluent in English at level 8. These titles paved the way for Mao Ran to step directly into an import and export trade company. Her boss appreciated her skill and quickly gave her significant responsibilities. A diligent and capable young woman, she even found time to study law, becoming an all-around professional. So, an academy ace, an elite professional with all the buffs. Her future should have been nothing but bright. But then she encountered a man who changed her life. It was a year ago in 2008. At a company social event, a friendly African foreigner became enamored with Mao Ran. Now you know how African men are. Unlike the reserved nature of the East, their expressions of love are passionate and direct. Oh, your pure aura, unique charm, and professional demeanor truly captivate me. The moment I saw you, I couldn't help but admire you. If I've caused you any trouble, I apologize. With just a few words, Mao Ran was utterly charmed. She thought she was plain looking, solely focused on her studies and work, clueless about dressing up and stuff. Colleagues often mocked her behind her back, saying she wasn't good looking and her style was just plain. So the girl lacked confidence and didn't even dare to think about dating. Normally, when faced with such a boundless approach, would be on high alert. However, Mao Ran got completely confused by the foreigner's enthusiastic directness. For the first time, someone praised her so bluntly, face to face, and she shyly lowered her head, her heart pounding like a little deer. She even felt like she didn't deserve the compliments the African man showered on her. Navigating the awkwardness at the dining table, she left her contact information without understanding how to refuse. Mao Ran thought he was just tipsy at the time, a fleeting interest. But who knew the African guy persisted, bombarding her with messages for several days, showing genuine concern. When they met together again, he turned out to be her biggest business partner. I heard you're in charge of this project, so I specifically came to discuss cooperation. Is this CEO romance playing out in real life or not? Mao Ran, who had no romantic experience, couldn't resist this. Although this African guy doesn't really match her aesthetic preferences. It's hard to resist when someone is saying, I love you every day, praising you like a blooming rose. Since then, the makeup-free Mao Ran started paying attention to her outward appearance. The African guy's name is Obi, and he's from Nigeria. After 2 meetings, he intensified his pursuit of Mao Ran. He was meticulous in life and work, doing everything he could to help Mao Ran. He constantly showered her with sweet words, sent flowers every 3 days, and created romantic surprises every 5 days. Moreover, Obi seems to notice Mao Ran's self-insecurities. Every day, he creatively wrote little cards in broken Chinese like, "Be happy every day and you're so beautiful," to cheer her up. Not only that, he actively adapted to Chinese eating habits just to accompany Mao Ran in enjoying her favorite Chinese food. When they went on movie dates, he would thoughtfully prepare snacks for her. "I've never been so moved by any girl. You are the first." Soap opera-style pink bubbles floated into Mao Ran's otherwise plain life. Mao Ran, usually overlooked by others, felt like she had fallen into a honey jar. Obi was generous and willing to spend time with her. Soon, Mao Ran, a single newcomer to society, was conquered. The charming words and the vision of the beautiful future in Nigeria from Obi's mouth touched her. She couldn't help but feel proud. A boyfriend who is rich, has time, speaks sweetly, and cares about her. That's really rare. Well, that's what she thought. The two quickly confirmed their romantic relationship. In the first week of their relationship, the two were constantly on the phone, and Obi even suggested introducing Mao Ran to his parents. If this is enough, Mao Ran doesn't know what else could be called love. A series of sweet gestures got her really hooked, thinking she found the perfect husband choice. However, behind the scenes, Obi changed his face, revealing his true colors. The once warm and considerate African guy, Obi, instantly turned into a sly, lewd guy with a face full of contempt and boastfulness. "Hey, buddy, what did I say back then? Fishing for her is as simple as fishing." In reality, Obi had many targets, and Mao Ran was just one of them, but the most obedient and quickest to take the bait. For Obi, the little effort he put into the relationship was not worth mentioning. It was just a trick to win the girl's favor. As the saying goes, sincerity may slip away, but good strategy wins the day. What was he aiming for? Just playing with emotions? Nope. He's different from these black foreign teachers or black coaches who mess around in China just for a one-night stand, and I am sorry for these stereotypes. What he wanted to do was cast a long line to catch a big fish. When a man seems perfect from head to toe, remember, he might not be destined for you. He could very well be a disaster waiting to happen. In the honeymoon phase, Mao Ran ignored all warnings and got deeply immersed in the nourishment of love. On the other side, her seemingly perfect boyfriend was greedily seizing her up, calculating how much value he could create for him. Not long after, Obi, using the excuse of working too hard and needing a break, actively spent money to take Mao Ran on trips. However, what were initially planned as romantic getaways for two always ended up with Mao Ran being alone. Obi consistently used the excuse of a busy work schedule to bail on her at the last minute. Initially, she was very upset. However, Mao Ran eventually chose to be sensible and keep quiet, thinking about her boyfriend's global business, and decided that she would show some support for his career. Yet every time they went on an international trip, Obi asked her to bring something back. It wasn't anything special, just food and necessities. "Darling, my friend left 2 boxes of chocolate. My mother loves them. Can you bring them back when you come back from your trip? That box of cookie is limited edition. Don't throw away the box. Keep it for me, alright? I bought 2 pairs of flip-flops for my niece. Bring them back for me, please. Looking at the adult-sized flip-flops in front of her and then at the text messages from her boyfriend, Mao Ran had a bad feeling in her heart. After these frequent incidents, even her colleagues started to suspect. Why does he always ask you to bring something back? Where is he going? Mao Ran wasn't foolish. In a phone call, she directly questioned Obi about why he always stirred her up and wanted her to bring anything back. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the phone, followed by Obi's slight laughter. Obi spilled the beans. Darling, these things can make our future wealthier and happier. Mao Ran was furious. She instantly understood that these cookies and chocolates were nothing but contraband that could get her into serious trouble. Obi, who pretended to be involved in international trade, was secretly a drug trafficker. Angry, she rejected Obi's unreasonable requests and began the silent treatment. In theory, Mao Ran, a highly intelligent career woman, should follow the typical plot of exposing and rejecting the scumbag, right? Either she would choose to report to the police or muster the strength to expose and disdain this asshat. However, she did neither. She chose to be silent. She knew deep down that she had done something wrong under deception. If Obi were caught, she would surely be implicated. Moreover, this was her first love, and she couldn't bear to send the man who loved her to jail. Well, she still believed that he was loving her very much. And we can't be here to judge her and say that she was just delusional. As Obi proposed to Mao Ran. Many girls fantasize about a perfect wedding and a touching proposal, and Mao Ran was no exception. She felt happiness was within reach. For the sake of noble and passionate love, she compromised. Mao Ran's love was burning like a wildfire. All laws, morals, and the legal knowledge she had acquired were burnt to ashes by the fierce flames of love. With just a few sweet words from the African guy and a fake proposal ceremony, she was brought back into his arms. Lost in the grand proposal ceremony, Mao Ran felt she could never be apart from this man again. Moreover, while they were giving each other the silent treatment, the quality of life plummeted. Without the intense gaze that used to focus on her, without the warm attention from the opposite sex, she once again became unnoticeable. Transitioning from a frugal lifestyle to one of luxury is a simple task, but making the reverse switch can be extremely challenging. The tremendous sense of contrast made her feel strongly uncomfortable. Unconsciously, she has been immersed in Obi's honey trap, turned into a person unable to independently sustain herself mentally and materially. She thought, it's okay, I've brought things back and forth a few times and it's not like I'm involved in anything heinous. But she forgot about these Chinese citizens ruined by drug addiction, the families shattered by drug abuse, and the frontline anti-drug police who sacrificed for years. She forgot about these anti-drug efforts upheld by generations over hundreds of years. And I'm gonna borrow a comment from my previous video. Part of the reason why China has a much stricter or more tougher stance than many other Western countries on drugs can be attributed to our history with the Opium Wars waged against China by the British. We know how hard drugs can affect society from our history. It can destroy the country and society and communities and the well-being of our people. The history she once studied, the political ethics she memorized, the higher education she received, all were tossed behind her infatuation with love. Mao Ran believed she was Obi's fiancée now. Her mind was filled with sweet fantasies of being a little woman, envisioning a happy married life after the wedding. However, Obi brought up an exchange deal for marriage, which was to support his business. Well, if you don't want to personally bring the goods, that's okay. We can find someone else, you know. The African guy constantly seduced and whispered, "You don't need to know too much about my affairs. Just do it. If you don't, it means you don't love me that much as you promised." What a classic line from the scumbag's playbook. On one side, there were the legal and moral boundaries, and on the other, there was the easily accessible happiness. Mao Ran made a determined decision. The once innocent girl had disappeared, replaced by a sharp blade in the hands of a villain. If she was previously innocent due to ignorance, now knowingly breaking the law, she became disgusting. She never thought about it before, but now with an iron cage closing in, Mao Ran was still immersed in the beautiful love story. She stepped on the bodies of the anti-drug police on the front line to engage in this damn relationship. Her love, stained with bright red blood, betrayed the country that nurtured her for the sake of the drug trafficker. Mao Ran's intelligence is no joke. If she's going to break the law, she's strategizing how to maximize benefits while minimizing risks. She thought about developing an underling, finding someone to carry the goods. Even if this underling gets caught, the authorities won't immediately chase it back to her. This way, she can fulfill the mission given by her fiancé without getting her hands dirty. But with China's strict regulations on prohibited items, who could she approach? If people know right from the start what they are getting into, chances are they won't be willing to do it, and they might even turn the tables on her. That's not a risk worth taking. So she put her high IQ to use, thinking up a clever plan. Mao Ran pondered. How did I let myself get caught up in this to begin with? Obi enticed me with an all-expenses paid trip abroad. It's hard to turn down a free offer, isn't it? So perhaps I can use the same tactic to execute a perfect phishing scheme. She thought of a colleague, Ashley. This girl was around the same age as Mao Ran and loved showing off her newly purchased high-end cosmetics. Mao Ran thought Ashley was a girl who admired vanity and decided to make a move. She went straight to the point. "I'll pay you for a trip abroad and give you $1,500 in return, but you need to bring back something for me. What do you think?" $1,500, according to the exchange rate in the Not 8, was roughly 10,000 Chinese yuan. A substantial amount back then. Ashley thought, isn't this still too good to be true? But she quickly realized something was off. Why would such a good opportunity fall into her lap? Mao Ran saw her guard go up, smiled faintly, and said, "I heard you've been eyeing a designer bag for a long time. I thought of you when this money-making opportunity came up. If you're not interested, forget about that." What a move, luring her in by making her think she was letting go. Human nature is greedy. As soon as Ashley heard that the nearly won 10,000 Chinese yuan might slip away, she immediately agreed. After the first successful delivery, she tasted the sweetness and couldn't stop. Not only did she get to travel for free, but she also got to buy things abroad. You don't ask heroes where they came from, right? So you don't care what's the sources of these big money, do you? As long as the money was good, she didn't stop. On Mao Ran's end, she didn't have as high a commission as Ashley. stingy Obi only gave her a few $100 each time, plus a few sweet words to keep her going. Why take such risks for so little? Love. Not only that, to satisfy her fiancé's appetite, she thought Ashley working alone could bring back so little things, which was a problem. So she encouraged Ashley to develop a underling as well. After Mao Ran's guidance, Ashley set her sights on rural folks who migrated to the city for work. Mao Ran thought these people could be a bit grim when it comes to worldly experiences, making them easy to deceive. Plus, they didn't have much money, so offering some sweet incentive could make them willing to do the job. Even if the cooperation wasn't pleasant, they didn't even know each other well enough to find out each other's hearts. But with all these calculations, Mao Ran never thought that she was the one easily deceived. Ashley used the same trick she learned from Mao Ran on Beth, an over 40 woman from the countryside. In mid-July 2009, Ashley arranged for Beth to go to this Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, to pick up something under the condition of providing round-trip tickets and covering expenses along the way. On the 20th of the same month, Beth took a flight from Vietnam, transitioning through Xiamen City before returning to Guangzhou City. As per Ashley's instructions, she handed over 4 books she brought back at a KFC near this hotel in Guangzhou City, where Mao Ran would pick them up. Ashley later paid Beth 4,000 yuan as a reward. During this period, Mao Ran kept herself well hidden. Beth hadn't even seen her in person and didn't know her real name. Ashley and Beth's audacity grew, and they were well aware of what they were doing. However, for the hefty profits, they were willing to take the risk. The most cunning aspect of Mao Ran's fishing technique was exploiting people's greed. Once they took the bait, it was too late to escape. Since you've already done something wrong, do you want to eat prison food and face the consequences, or do you want to just continue making money? The answer is clear. Behind the scenes, Obi was reveling in his success. The money-making machine he personally chained didn't require any effort from him, and these naive Chinese women were making money for him without even knowing who he was. It was a classic case of lying low and winning big. Throughout this whole smuggling process, except for Mao Ran, neither Ashley nor Beth knew about Obi's existence. Good times didn't last long. In just a short while, around the end of July 2009, the scene at Xiamen Airport unfolded. Beth was the first to get caught and Ashley followed closely. The police exposed the rat's nest, not expecting Mao Ran to be behind Ashley. After smuggling for a year, the game was up. In the end, the police chased it to a hotel in Guangzhou City, confirming it was Mao Ran's hiding place. Everything was ready, they just needed to make the arrest. Please don't move. The police rushed into the hotel room, but unexpectedly, there was a black foreigner with Mao Ran. The foreigner's eyes widened, and he looked much more terrified than Mao Ran. Experienced police immediately figured out what was going on. No wonder these 3 women had such audacity, and they were wondering where they got their drugs from. With the involvement of foreign illegal forces or the drug from Nigeria at the time, everything suddenly makes sense. In the interrogation room, Mao Ran faced the police calmly. Tell us what happened. What's your relationship with the black guy? Is he coercing you? All she had to do was point fingers, and that black foreigner would be caught for sure. However, Mao Ran's next amazing move left the police dumbfounded. We're just ordinary online friends, not close at all. Huh? You are caught red-handed and you say you are not close. To know the consequences of lying, quickly admitted. Admitting it will reduce your charge. The interrogator stared at her with eyes like copper bells, wishing they could speak for her. But she was uncooperative, calmly stating, "I'm telling the truth. We're just friends." A group of police officers, looking at Mao Ran's heroic sacrifice in the interrogation room, they were infuriated. Unfortunately, the police knew she was lying through her teeth, but they had no evidence connecting Obi to the smuggling case. Moreover, with Mao Ran's vehemently denying, the police got no choice but to release Obi after the detention period. To make matters worse, when she was brought back to Xiamen City, she surprisingly changed her testimony. At this point, her extraordinary fiancé had vanished like a rabbit, leaving no trace. Now she seemed to be awake a little bit. Investigators said to the journalist, "Because we knew there was a man around her involved in this drug trafficking, likely her superior. We conducted a very detailed inquiry at that time." However, Mao Ran strongly denied. The reporter later interviewed her, and this is what she said. The reporter asked, "Were you trying to protect him at the time?" Mao Ran replied, "Maybe there was a slight thought, I admit. I don't know, it's strange now. Many people can understand it, but at that moment, I decided that way. I don't care how my parents will this, or my relatives and friends. It's not important anymore." The reporter kept asking, "Do you know the consequences of protecting this Obi?" Mao Ran replied, "I'm 95% clear. I knew I couldn't get out when I came in." If initially Mao Ran was misled and deceived into this wrong path, deserved sympathy. But by this point, we all knew that she knew it was drug and she knew it ruined people's lives. You can't feel much sympathy for her, could you? In the end, the woman is pitiable, laughable, and even deserves what she got. Mao Ran was originally a genius girl. While others were dating, she buried herself in study. A classic script for a female lead. Unfortunately, under Obi's brainwashing and sweet tactics, she ended up on the path of crime. When Mao Ran's parents received the news, they couldn't believe it, wondering if it was a case of mistaken identity. Their daughter had always been exceptional, sensible, obedient, law-abiding. How could she get involved with drugs and crimes? Putting it all together, it seemed impossible. When the police presented Mao Ran's criminal activities to her family, they were in disbelief and then broke down, crying uncontrollably. On the 20th of April 2010, the Xiamen Intermediate People's Court made the first instance judgment on Mao Ran and the other two women in the drug smuggling case. The charges of drug smuggling were established, and Mao Ran was sentenced to death. Ashley received a death sentence with a suspended execution, and Beth got life imprisonment. After the first sentence verdict, instead of reflecting on her actions, Mao Ran appealed to the Fujian High People's Court. She claimed that she had only arranged for the transportation of raw drug materials a few times, which did not constitute drug manufacturing or trafficking. She made it sound easy, but she didn't realize that her lack of knowledge and foolishness had really hurt the people who work on the front lines, trying to stop drug crimes. Her temporary mistake could have endangered the lives of many drug enforcement officers. During the next Chinese New Year, the final verdict from Fujian High People's Court was issued, upholding the original judgment. The death penalty was immediately carried out. A TV program journalist went for interview before the execution, and Mao Ran mentioned that she used to be a loyal fan of this show, never imagining she would become the one being interviewed someday. I never imagined things would change so suddenly. I just want to live each day in peace, Mao Ran said. Facing the death penalty at the age of 26, Mao Ran pretended to be chill. Investigators of the case expressed regret for Mao Ran, saying that she was a very outstanding girl. However, despite being seen as a well-behaved girl by the elder generations and a model child by her peers, Mao Ran became involved in a nationwide smuggling case. Even if they felt regret, Mao Ran became an irredeemable criminal. If she had just stopped and thought about what she was doing, didn't get her colleagues involved, saw through this guy's lies, or thought about her parents, maybe, she would have made different choices and things wouldn't have ended this way. Unfortunately, life is not a TV drama. There are no retakes, only no goes. On the 14th of April 2011, Mao Ran was executed by firing squad in Xiamen City, Fujian province, at the age of 26. The Mao Ran smuggling case isn't just a simple case of lost drug brain. Two major issues came to light. Firstly, individuals like Mao Ran are inherently vulnerable to deception. That guy used Mao Ran's lack of major setbacks in life to manipulate her emotions easily. Given the widespread impact of the Mao Ran case, there's a keen societal response to high-profile crimes. Experts argue that one of the root causes is parental shortcomings in education, emphasizing academia success over other essential life skills and values. On another note, there's a deficiency in school education. Many high-intelligent university graduates, even those with master's and doctoral degrees, engage in crime with foolish methods and reasons. It's acknowledged that their intelligence is indeed not bad. From a young age, the idea that they can achieve anything they want can make people feel confident, even when it comes to doing bad things. Mao Ran, too, exhibits this mindset, believing that her legal activities could continue smoothly and she wouldn't have stopped if the case hadn't been exposed. This mindset is prevalent among individuals with high intelligence who engage in criminal activities. What's frightening is that this group is not small and they often involve high intelligence criminals. Another issue is the lack of awareness about drug enforcement work. When people hear about drug enforcement, they often feel as distant from their daily lives. However, the strict anti-drug measures in China are rooted in the historical trauma of these opium wars, which inflicted immense suffering on the Chinese people. Without the efforts of frontline drug enforcement personnel, allowing drugs to proliferate would be a replay of the nightmares from a century ago. In the Mao Ran case, it's evident that she lacked this historical awareness. Whether clouded by love or blinded by ignorance, the fact remains that many people fall victim to the devastating efforts of drugs. Excuses won't wash away the harm caused by drugs, as the Mao Ran case illustrates. And today's story ends here. I know I kept mentioning this opium wars in China. Feel free to look it up and you will know from the historical angle why drug is seriously banned in China. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, will you? So I will see you in my next video. Bye.